I'm Mark and this is my van build. Today in this video I'm going to be showing you how I took the headlining out of my van, which is the standard fitted factory card type of headlining. I'm not going to be using it again, so I'm not too worried about the upholstery clips that are in there, although I have had it down before and used those clips to put it back. But today it's coming out. I'm going to measure up then for tongue and groove, which is going in my ceiling, which I'll be staining before it goes in, and working out how much I need basically, and then popping off to a local supplier to go and get those bits. So yeah, come with me, have a little look. So in this van, as you can see, there are two parts to my ceiling. From the front, not the strip light, from the front, the cab section up here, running back through here. This is a cover strip, and then running into the back section. You can see from that, if I just get a bit closer there, how hilly that is. So it's clearly being wet up there, so there is possibly a leak up there somewhere that I've got to have a look for. I know that this used to have a binnacle on the roof, so I think probably I'm going to have a look at that and see if there was, see if it was sealed properly when they took it all apart or not. I don't think it was. So there's that to do, and in this van I've got these old clips, upholstery clips here, which basically are it's a clip that goes in, that opens up, and this piece here seems to screw into that. I'll just be forcing them out because I have had these off before. They're not difficult to take off. If you buy yourself one of the plastic upholstery kits, they'd be really easy to do, but I haven't got one of those, so I'll be just using a screwdriver more than likely and just popping them off. I'm not going to be reusing it because my intention with this ceiling is to put a tongue and groove ceiling up here with LED ceiling lights in it, and tidy up the van. That'll be a stained ceiling once it goes in. Well, it'll be stained before it goes in, actually. So that's what I'm doing today, and stick with me and you'll see how. So the clips that actually hold this into the ceiling, they're grey clips in the case of mine. So this is what they look like. It's a two-piece clip, and as you can see, there's a centre opening piece here. And this piece, which has what looks like a screw thread on it, actually pops into that and forces that bit to open, and that's what holds your various different upholstery parts, bits and pieces into the van. These are available on eBay if you want to replace them, and they're also available with a deeper or longer, I don't know what they're called, so that bit. So that if you're putting your headlining up and you've carpeted it or something like that, then this will go on there. So they're widely available. I think you buy them in bags of 100 or something like that. That's what they are. However, I'm not using these. As mentioned before, I'm going to put tongue and groove into my ceiling, so I'm just popping these out. It's not a great representation in this one, but you can see there's a hexagonal nut. No, it's not a nut. I forget what it's called. Probably a torque setting, probably a torque tool or something like that. But you can get a socket into there. There's a variety of ways of getting these out. The best way is get the edging tool, get the upholstery tools. I think it's a plastic kit, doesn't cost a lot, off eBay or Amazon or your favourite marketplace, wherever. So there it is. I'll just push that together so it shows you. So once that goes in, once the clip goes in, it forces those two leg bits out, which is what holds everything up. So there it is. They're coming out. Don't use them again in this van because it's going to be tongue and groove. So that's the bits and pieces taken out. Well, when I say bits and pieces taken out, so that's the rust and stuff swept off the back floor. Just a quick look at that floor. Yes, you can see there's jobs that need doing here, but you can see this, I don't know, ½ inch, probably not quite that, with this surface on the top of it. Well, that is riveted in quite a lot of places, or was riveted in quite a lot of places, and then on top of that it was it's got load carrying fastenings. No, that's not one. There's one down here. There we go. It's got load covering fastenings, which are these on the bottom. So these were bolted through the floor, so again that was extra stability to the floor and to the fan, I guess, but not required anymore. So they are They're on the standby pile. Standby, somebody might want them pile. So next part of my task now is to lift this side of the floor. As you can see, this side of the, hang on, where am I? That side of the floor, that's right. So as you can possibly make out there is a joint here running up the side of the van on the side here of this kitchen unit. So if I can get away with leaving the kitchen unit in, actually saved me some hassle. That's the biggest part of the floor. When I lift that, have a look under it, clean out whatever's underneath there. And I'm in two minds now, because I'm not after a super duper fantastic, you know, all singing, all dancing camper van finish, and I'm not that hell bent on having to mess around with the floor to the point of taking it all out and then putting batten in and all that kind of stuff. Also, it's a low roof, so I don't want to lose height on the roof either, or ceiling I should say, on the inside. So I don't necessarily want to stick a 1/2 inch or so batten underneath that and then have to raise the roof by, you know, insulating the floor and all that. So I'm probably not going to do that. And in fairness, using the diesel heater there, it's, you know, that van is plenty warm enough and it's got good insulation in the inside, so it's okay. However, something I do want to show you that I came across the other day when I started to take out the headlining. Unfortunately, let's get in here. Unfortunately, I came across that. Now, at some stage, there's obviously been a some sort of beacon on the top of this van, because here is a rubber grommet and there's one over there as well. Now, unfortunately, what they've done when they've sealed all of that up, if sealing is the right word, because I don't think they sealed it very well, it has let water through, and eventually that's rotted out the an area that you can see up there, dinner plate size on one of them, of the van roof. So I had a chat with the man I have who does all of my welding, and he came up with a great idea, which was, why not put a sunroof up there? So I've had a look for sunroofs online on Fleabay and on Amazon and all sorts of other places, and I can't find them less than about 300 quid, and which is a bit of an annoyance, and I don't want to spend that much on the roof. He did say he could cut that panel out, weld it back in, and make a really tidy job for around about 200 quid, which I think is very good. However, it's 200 quid over the budget that I've already got for doing the bits I'm going to do to this. So at this point in time, what I've actually done is I have bought a vent, a roof vent that opens up like that, which is designed and meant for caravans, camper vans, boats, you name it. It's a plastic or GRP or whatever vent with a fan in it, which is an extractor. Now, you can go to various different degrees of, first of all, money, but also type of those fans, and an average I suppose would be about 100, 120 pounds, something like that, brand new I'm talking, not second hand. So long story short, I have gone the cheaper route, which was one of these ceiling fans, which is made by FEMA, and it has a very standard 2-speed motor in it, which will pull air out of the van, and that's winging its way. Should have arrived here today, and today I think it's around about 6 o'clock now and it hasn't arrived, but we are having problems with deliveries and post and things due to COVID situation, of course. So, you know, I won't be surprised if I don't see that today, but that more or less, it's not as wide obviously as a sunroof, because the sunroof is, I don't know what, 2 foot, 3 foot something wide probably. So I've gone with this thing. It's actually a 400 by 400, so we're talking millimeters, and will remove most of that roof when I cut it out. Not roof, rust, when I cut it out. However, not all of it, so I will be having to treat some of it, and I think providing I treat it properly inside and outside, then it should never be a problem from here on in. But that was the cheapest fix I could find. Perhaps you know of a cheaper fix, in which case drop me a comment below, or let me know somehow. Send me a carrier pigeon. But by the time you do that, I'll have moved on, because this is getting done now. So that's it. Right now, taking out the floor, that's an issue to be held, to be sorted, which I'm hoping to get done this weekend. It is now Saturday evening and the thing hasn't arrived, so it's possibly unlikely, because I'm going to be cladding this ceiling, and that's another video anyway, but I haven't done that yet, obviously. So today is stage one. I think it's unfair probably to call it stage one because we've already undergone a few stages. I've had a fair bit of rust repaired on this van so far in the last week or two, all of it being in the back on the floor from underneath, and the side loading door and what have you. If you're interested, at some stage I'll run through those bits and show you what was done. But today I need to rip out, well not rip out, but take out the flooring that's already fitted in there, which was done by Volkswagen originally, which is probably a half-inch ply with what looks like a mesh top on it, and then that's got some sort of a black paint cover to it. It's just good and grippy because obviously it was put in there to hold goods in one place rather than let them slide around everywhere. So there's that to do, and then underneath that I need to look at what state the rest of the floor is in, and clean it off, probably rust treatment I imagine, Rust-Oleum or something like that, maybe red oxide, I don't know. And then I can start putting things back in. But at the moment, and I don't know how clearly you can see this, on the right hand side is a kitchen unit, a pod that I built. It was literally just thrown together to give me some idea of how this was going to work for me. But in the bottom of that I've installed a suitcase styled diesel heater, the Chinese diesel heater, which I can highly recommend. So that's obviously got fittings that go through the floor, so that's all going to come out. Those fittings, for those who are not aware, are an air intake and also exhaust. So that's got to come out. Then I can take the kitchen unit out, and then I can take up the remainder of the flooring. Interestingly enough, I found that the flooring in this van was, or is I should say, riveted into place, and I don't know whether that has got to be done or whether it's just done by belt and braces. They've done it for make it super safe, I suppose, or fixed anyway. But I need to take that up to find out what's underneath it, to see if there's anything else that I need to get done down there before I go fitting everything else in and starting to make a permanent camper van base out of my van, which is what I'm after doing. I've got to this point and I really don't feel like doing this, but I know if I don't do it, it's going to be a big bad no-no. So that's my task here today, is to take out the heater and sort out the floor. I'd like to say a massive thank you to whoever bought this van originally, what was it, 26 years ago, for having installed this flooring. Now if you have a look at that, it's a nice shiny finish on the inside. That's on the floor side, but this is the floor that he's left me with after this period of time. It's absolutely pristine, apart from it's full of crap now because this has worked its way underneath the floor in 26 years. Have a quick look around this side. I'm quite chuffy, to be fair. You can see I have had a little bit of welding done. Had a chunk there. Issues happening with this side step, all been addressed and sorted out, both ends. As you can see, different bodywork guys did these, because one of them works in black and the other one works in white. But all I've got to do now, literally, is sweep and maybe hoover and clean this out. And jobs are good and Bob's your uncle. I'm feeling rather inclined to put the floor back down. I don't know why that's the colour it is, so apologise. I'm feeling rather inclined to put the floor back down. Won't be doing that right now, but I will be riveting that back in, because the back section, which I'm going to show you underneath in a minute, where I have done some welding, had some welding done, it creaks and squeaks like hell when you drive, and it drives me nuts. So that will be getting riveted back down. Anyway, right now, let's have a clean. So I've removed the plastic panels off the side now to reveal the insulation that I put in the van some time ago, probably about 7 years ago. So here it is. This is recycled plastic bottle. and it really feels very woolly when you feel it. It doesn't feel, you know, like I would imagine it would feel quite coarse, but it doesn't. In behind that you can just see here a vapor barrier that I put in there, and that's made out of that it's the plasticky bubble wrap, I think is the right way of putting that, that you get, that goes behind. I think it's designed to go behind radiators to stop moisture and reflect heat in houses. So there it is. This is the stuff. I've also made screens for my windows out of this. You can't, I'll show you the back screen in a second. So there it is. That basically just cuts to size, and it more or less jams into the slot, and I don't have to, apart from the windscreen, which is a bit of an issue, I don't have to do anything special with it. Just pop it in place and it stays there. So that's what I've done for these. I put the plastic bubble wrap against the walls for a vapor barrier. I glued it in there with adhesive, and then I put adhesive on the face of it, and put in the plastic recycled bottle stuff. So I find that it hasn't in any way, it doesn't gather moisture at all. I haven't had any water ingress problems or damp problems or anything else. The van isn't all steamed up in the morning or anything like that, so I find it works. I haven't gone to the point of covering all of the metal surfaces, which I know a lot of people do with the tape, the tape that you put on there that's like, you know, the silvery stuff. Don't even know what it's called. I have done the ceilings, but I haven't done these parts, so I'm not intending to, because I don't really necessarily think that I need to. Perhaps somebody will have an opinion about that and put me right, but up to press in the last 9 years that's been okay for me, so I'll probably carry on the same way. So for the moment that's me stopping, because I took the floor up as I needed to. I've had a look underneath. I'm delighted about how good this floor is. I can see the work that I've had done. I'm quite happy with the quality of that. That's good. Got a few little issues that do need sorting out, and I've got one patch of rust in the floor which probably needs to be welded. So I'll get that looked at and get a quote for that this week. And also I've taken the sides off, the two side plastic panels off, which are never going back on, I'm quite pleased to say. But in their place it will be tongue and groove going on this. And as for the side loading door, I've had a couple of schools of thought with that, and at the moment I haven't landed on an idea which way I'm going to go. And to be fair, as I've probably mentioned before, it's taken me 9 years to decide what layout I'm going to have in the van. So I'm not going to rush myself into deciding what I'm definitely going to do with the side loading door. Perhaps you've got an idea. Stick them in the comments below or something. So that's me. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.